Well, the Viking's really coming along. I'm really liking the way it's turning out. It's looking really great. We got 2 more inlays to do. Actually, we have 4 more to do. But the other 2 are going to be a little surprise later on. What we're going to do here now is we're going to put this accent piece on the back. Right here in the corner. Hopefully you can see it on the video. Come a little closer to you guys. And this is all going to be done basically with just black mother of pearl. There's 27 pieces of black mother of pearl, which we're going to cut using the cam machine. Then we're going to put this in the back, and you're going to begin to see why it's a little tougher to work on a made guitar than it is to work on the pieces, because we're going to have to put it in this way, and as you can see, the fretboard's going to get in the way of this thing laying flat. So we're going to have to make sure we go underneath and flatten it and get it all sealed up right. Once this is done, we're going to put in the fret markers, which we can tell you now. We're going to be doing helmets. We're going to be doing mother of pearl Viking helmets. So that ought to be pretty cool. We'll be doing the 1 through 12, and then we're just going to be leaving dots in the rest. I really didn't feel like pulling the frets and everything I would need to work on the dots farther down. If I'm working on an existing board, once I get below the 12th fret, it gets very, very difficult to get in between the frets. So I just don't do it, and I really didn't want to unfret this board. I kind of wanted to leave it the original fretting that Gibson put on there. So let's get going by cutting the black mother of pearl, and then we're going to cut this, glue it up, and we'll be ready to roll with the next one. And here are all the pieces cut. I've decided to do a test cutting on the hole. You can see it's actually mounted into a piece of MDF, and it looks pretty cool and it fits really nicely. So I wanted to do a test before I actually plugged it into the guitar. You can see what it took for us to get this right. Let me just zoom out a little bit on this. You can see the way it's clamped in there. We've got counterweights. But if we zoom right into our digital level, you'll notice we're just 0.1 degree off, which is about as good as I think I'm going to be able to get. And that's very, very close, 0.1 degree off. So now we're ready to start cutting the back of the guitar in order to put in the shadow face of the Viking. So let's get our level out of there. Turn it off, save those batteries. And now you can see we have the face where we want this to be. We're just going to take this off. We don't want that paper interfering with our paper design removed. We're ready to start the process of grinding out the neck. So I'll turn this on. It's going to get noisy. I'll do some editing on the video to make sure it's not too noisy. And I'm going to hit the go button and let her rip. And there you have it. The back's been routed out. Now what I'm going to do here is just turn on our dust collector, suck up some of this dust. Turn that off just so the sound doesn't annoy you. Usually we keep those running all the time, but for this case of the video I shut it off. And we're just going to sand it down a little bit. touch this to get some of the burrs off the top. Very, very lightly. Looks pretty good. However, what I'm planning to do here next is before I even take it off the cam machine, I'm going to test fit these pieces just to make sure that none of them are too shallow. Because if any of them are too shallow, I can get the cam machine to make them a little deeper. Right now it looks really, really good, but on the back of a guitar, you never know, especially since I'm not really, really familiar with the, you know, like see that piece right there, I mean that one fits perfect. That one's just absolutely awesome there. And I'm expecting most of them to be pretty much, I mean just looking at them from, you know, my eyeballing, from years of experience, it looks like they're all just about perfect. But before I take it off the cam machine, I'm going to check it. So we're going to do that, and the next step, of course, we kept it in the cam machine because we did have two little spots here on the beard that were a little bit high. So we went back in with the cam machine and we leveled them out a little bit, and now they're like perfect. So that's why I do those kind of checks. It's something that a lot of people do, but I do it because I want everything to be right. Okay, now what we're going to do here is that despite the fact this is mahogany, we're going to color the epoxy with maple dust. The reason why is because the glue always dries darker than the wood you're using. Now if this dries darker, it's going to be almost exactly the same color as this mahogany, which would be perfect. So, going to get a little bit of dust as usual. With my little trusty Dremel tool. That's plenty. And I'm going to mix myself up some epoxy. There's quite a few holes here, so I'm going to mix up quite a bit. The maple dust will give it a nice gold color, which is just about perfect to match the wood this is in, which is pretty much what I'm looking to do. It's a little different than I did on the Viking, because the Viking I wanted, if there was any lines showing, I wanted those lines to match the inlay itself. Well, since this inlay is just black mother of pearl, I want any glue that might show to match the wood. I don't think we're going to get a lot showing, but just in case. Most of these pieces are very, very tight fits. And there you have it. I have a nice little accent piece on the back of the guitar. Pull out here so you can see it a little bit better. Not anything too outrageous or overwhelming on the back here, just something to tell you that if you're looking at the back, it's still the Viking guitar. I've done these kind of shadow relief inlays a number of times before, and I've always enjoyed them. So I thought on this guitar, this would be a really kind of cool idea. Just get a little extra light on there, take a look around. I like it.